This is Mirabella's Kitchen, and today I'm making eggplant rollatini. If you'd like to cook with me, please check the description below to gather the ingredients. I start by taking 2 large eggplants. I cut off the tops and I cut off the bottoms and I peel the skin from the eggplant. Then I slice off one of the rounded edges of eggplant so I can have a flat surface to safely slice the eggplant on. I slice the eggplant into 15 or so very thin slices, 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch thick. They can be a little thicker, they can be a little thinner. As long as you yield about 15 slices, it can be a few more, it can be a few less. We just want a lot of eggplant. I take all those eggplant slices and I put them into a colander over a bowl. I coat them in coarse kosher salt, about 2 tablespoons worth, and I let them sit for 30 minutes. I dice 1 large yellow onion, and I mince 8 cloves of garlic. 4 cloves will be for the sauce, and 4 cloves will be for the coating of the eggplant. I take a bushel of parsley, slice off the stems, and I roll it into a little bundle to mince it, and I mince it very finely. This whole bushel will be used for multiple uses in this recipe. I have a saucepan heating up over medium heat for the sauce, where I add olive oil and the diced onion and cook for 3 to 5 minutes before adding 4 cloves of garlic that has been minced, 1 28-ounce can of petite diced tomatoes, a 28-ounce can of tomato sauce, 1 cup chicken stock, 1/2 cup tomato paste or half a tube or so, 1 palmful of minced parsley, 4 teaspoons cane sugar, 1 teaspoon coarse kosher salt, a teaspoon of dried basil, a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and some freshly ground black pepper. Those are all the ingredients for the sauce. I stir them all together and I bring the sauce up to a boil before lowering it down to a simmer, where I cook it for at minimum 30 minutes up to an hour plus. For the filling, I take a container of Ricotta cheese and 1 cup of grated Parmesan. I take 2 eggs and I beat those eggs before adding them into the filling. I take about another palmful or so of minced parsley and some freshly ground black pepper. I grate a package of mozzarella cheese and add that shredded mozzarella cheese into the ricotta mixture, and I mix that all together. For the coating of the eggplant, I take 1 cup of plain breadcrumbs, a cup and a half or so if you want to measure that, grated Parmesan cheese. I add 4 cloves of minced garlic, another palmful or so of minced parsley, some pepper, some salt, and I mix it all together with a whisk, taking care to break up any clumps of the grated Parmesan cheese. I also take 4 more eggs and I whisk them for an egg wash for the eggplant. I rinse the eggplant and pat it dry with paper towels. I take half a container of vegetable oil and heat it up very high over medium-high heat until the oil is shimmering. If you'd like to temp it, it should be about 375 degrees Fahrenheit. I line up the eggplant, the egg, and the breading. I put the eggplant in some egg and the breading, patting it very finely, and add it to the hot oil for 2 to 3 minutes on each side before turning it. You want a nice golden brown color to it, but you don't want to burn it. And I put them on a drying rack with some paper towels so they can cool before handling them to roll them into rollatini. Once a lot of the eggplant is done, I do this in batches. I take a few ladlefuls of the sauce and put it in a 9 by 13 inch baking dish and coat the bottom of it. And then I take the filling and I put 1 to 2 spoonfuls of it onto the eggplant, and I roll the eggplant up into little rollatinis and place it seam side down onto the sauce in the baking dish. I put about 15 or so per container. I'm doing 2 batches, so I'm making 30 plus. After I have the baking dish full of rollatini, I cover the rollatini with some more sauce. And I do a light coating of some more grated Parmesan cheese, because this is all about cheese, because I love cheese. And I cover it with some aluminum foil. I have an oven preheated to 325 degrees Fahrenheit, where I place the rollatini on the middle shelf for 30 minutes to bake. After 30 minutes, I remove the rollatini and I switch out my next batch. Gotta feed a lot of people here. And be careful when removing the aluminum foil so you don't get burned with the steam. And that's eggplant rollatini. I put about 4 pieces or so on a plate if it's going to be the main dish. You can do a couple if you're doing this as an appetizer. So that's eggplant rollatini. Thanks for joining me today. I put out new videos on cooking every Wednesday. Please support me on Patreon and on Facebook at Mirabella's Kitchen.